G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to show you a simple and easy way to stop digging or raking animals from ruining your newly tilled or mulched garden beds. Let's get into it. If you watched my last video, we sowed some corn, some spring onion in this one, and then we planted some zucchini or squash in that last one. We might as well do a bit of an update as I come around. Part of that update is, you can see how gloomy it still is. It's been raining every day. We've got a little bit of a break, which is great, but it's not enough to dry the place up. And you can probably hear the slosh as I come around to the front of the camera. But anyway, I do digress. So this is a good time for me to be able to give you a bit of an update on just how quickly those beds have sprung into action. Seems that I'm talking about one of them is spring onions. And speaking of the spring onions, well, the centre bed there where I am utilising a succession sow method, the spring onion is already sprouting, so how cool is that? And we've had really good success with the bed on my left here, the Jolly Roger corn that we sowed from our own seed. That's germinated and coming up really quickly, or this extra rain I suppose. And on the right hand side, those zucchinis and squash, they're starting to green up. And even though it's still pretty warm for those crops, they look like they're doing okay. The only problem is they were starting to get targeted by our bush turkeys here, or scrub turkeys as people call them. They're a very strong bird. They're worse than a chicken. And you know how a chicken can absolutely destroy a newly tilled garden bed, especially plants that aren't established, or even an established vegetable garden, chickens can do a good job on it. Well, bush turkeys are worse. They're a much stronger bird, often a bigger bird, and they have a large beak as well. And they use those instruments to make a heck of a mess. They love making big nests. They're used to raking mulch and forest litter to get bugs and snails and slugs and worms. So essentially that's what they go after. When they see newly laid mulch or tilled soil, they'll get in there and they will make a heck of a mess. What are you doing? Look at the mess he's made. He's raking it from over there and he's trying to bring it all across to his nest over here. Just done that in a few hours. Must have worked all night. It was over there and now he's scraped it across to here. It must be harder to scrape off the concrete. So that's why it's thick there, and then he's kept scraping it into here, into the nest, or him or her. They don't normally target the vegetables, although they might eat a little bit of fruit here and there, but the main thing they're after are the proteins from those insects and slugs and bugs. And to be honest, as an organic gardener, it's one of the reasons I don't mind having them around, because they do take care of pests, but there can be a bit too much. And in this case, they started raking and getting into the garden and forming a bad habit of getting into those beds through the night and early morning, and that was jeopardizing the crops. And there you are, the culprit, snooping around the yard. Yeah, you know I'm angry, don't you? Bugger off. Oh, the Turriers. Well, I've got to have a word with both while you're both here then. Don't go up to my beds and rake the mulch around. I don't like it. Rightio? Or I'll get upset. Oh no, couldn't be three. That's just overdoing it. No wonder my beds are a mess. Go on, go back into the scrub. Your name's a scrub turkey. I know My property's starting to look like the scrub because you can't mow the lawn in this slosh. Yeah, go in the orchard, dig around there and get rid of the grubs. So there are a lot of different ways that you can protect your crop, and I've done this before in many videos. Netting is one of the easiest and normal ways to do it. It also requires a fair setup to do, and sometimes it's a bit of an overkill. A dog in the garden might be digging for the fertilizer, they might be able to smell that and they really don't know what they're after, or they might be just digging for fun, or a scrub turkey or a chicken is digging in the garden because they're looking for bugs. They're not necessarily trying to eat the plants, and in that case it is an overkill to fully net the whole thing when you could just do something like this. This is a very simple and easy method of looking after your garden and preventing that digging or raking action that can ruin seedlings or newly sown seeds. All it is just some simple galvanized mesh. I bought these from the local hardware store. They can be used as trellises as well in the garden, so that's a secondary use for them. I've even used this type of mesh before to make a storage area for our extra wire. These are 1800 by 1200 millimeters with a mesh size about 4 inches square, I'd say. And what I like about this is they're light enough to maneuver into place, but they're also heavy enough not to get blown around. You don't really have to fix them down at all or do any extra fuss. All I've simply done is used a few things that I've had around just to keep them above the plants and the newly sown seeds, and that's going to do two things. It's going to allow those plants to grow and develop, to get strong enough and big enough so that they don't get as disturbed, particularly from what I'm facing, which is the scrub turkey. And the second thing it'll do is it'll stop the habit. It's not only the newly tilled and mulched ground that they're after, but it's also the habit of jumping up. And they started that habit because I had that extra corn on the end there drying, and I wanted to get some dried corn to mill. And they noticed that and they started eating it. So they started jumping up on the garden bed. And then when I tilled these, they started digging it up. It was just a natural hop over. Oh, this is new. This is nice. What's under here? If I can get them out of the habit, then it's likely when I remove this, they won't come back and start digging again. Now you could use any barrier that you wanted. If you wanted to go cheaper, you could use like some of my spare wire there, but it'd take a bit of extra effort because it's a bit flimsy. So you could probably attach it to some old wood and then stretch it out and roll it out and stretch it across and then have it suspended. I'll leave you with your imagination to do it cheaper than this if you don't want to buy these panels. And what I love about it is the simplicity. When I remove this, I can just stack them away. I can use them as trellising material. They don't take up a lot of space. They don't rust very much. They can be reused whenever I need them, and I can easily bring them out if need be. Often all it takes is these plants to mature, like the rest of the vegetable garden where the bush turkeys aren't in. They won't come in here anymore. Hey, g'day. I probably look a lot older. That's because it's me, Mark from the future. I just wanted to show you these raised garden beds a few days later to show you that that turkey hasn't been back. And as you can see, there's been no digging at all. How cool's that? Check it. What I'll do is I'll keep the mesh on the beds until the plants grow to at least that mesh height, and then I'll remove them and we'll see how we go. If the turkeys come back, well then I'll put them back on there, but a little bit higher. Sometimes it's the simple and easiest methods that are the most practical. And as I slosh my way over to you again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you rake that thumb up and give it a big thumbs up. Share the video around and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.